Hello guys, this is Nila. Welcome back at a new YouTube video, and today we're gonna talk about the Iran's uprising or the recent protest happening in Iran. So just to give you guys some context, the from last month, from December 2025, we have seen some protest happening in here and there in some cities in Iran. But right now, that protest have been swept all across 31 provinces, and since January 8th, there has been a total internet shutdown and blackout. Still, we can see a lot of videos coming up of protests happening in different cities. Major airports have also been shut down. I am gonna try to talk about what is happening and what can we expect from this uprising. First, let me try to make few things clear. This current protest, this is not the first protest that the regime has seen. The Masa Amini protest back few years back was much bigger than this. But there's something more interesting in this protest. This protest didn't start because of some young people's social media post or some trend. This protest have its roots in economics, in financial situation of the country. This protest started at 28th of December in as a small protest, as a small rally in the Grand Bazaar of Tehran. But right now, it's been swept all across the country. Now, for me, from my perspective, I would like to talk about that there's a lot of foreign powers which are involved. There are few powers which are calling for restraint or which are very divided, which are very neutral. We can They are mostly China, Russia, and some extent we can also say the European Union, because they don't want to intervene. They want to keep it away, because we have also a different situation going on in North Atlantic. That is the Greenland situation, and the recent invasion, the recent intervention of U.S. military in Venezuela have also been very, I think I would say, intriguing in the region. So the global powers really don't want to pick up a new battle, but some countries have really big stakes, and no one is really talking about that. And for me, I would like to talk about those countries. I would have those countries from four different perspectives. First is, of course, the Russia, China, and North Korea, and all of these countries which are anti Western countries. The thing is that Iran provides a very strong ground as my enemy's enemies is my friend in that sense. And the second country I would say is Saudi Arabia and that whole bloc, because they also are somewhat against. We have always seen there's an issue in the Arab world with an opposition against Iran. The third country is United States, because of there's a lot of things coming in way. Iran is one of the only countries which has been proving stressful for the states. They have been proven stressful not only in the region but abroad as well. We have seen Iran doing proxy war in Yemen. Iran is have its involvement in Israel-Palestine conflict as well. So the United States would want to settle that. And the fourth country is Israel themselves. If Iran is suppressed, if the regime falls, there's a very clear path for the Jewish state, for Israel, to basically do whatever they want. Because Iran is someone who has been funding all these people who fight against Israel. You have Israel also fighting in Yemen. They are also doing some strikes, and that's why you have some Muslim states, the Arab world states, who are in awe, who are not in particular very much against the state, but they are still trying to balance their relations, and at the same time the Hezbollah and Hamas. So Israel would want the regime to collapse. So when you actually see, yes, there is a foreign involvement in this protest. When Supreme Leader tweets from his X account that debt to America, the President of the United States is this, that means two things. First of all, he might have some point. Second of all, the regime really understands that the end is near, because now they are directly addressing this issue. It's not the time where they would talk about some Western power as some XYZ person. No, they are directly addressing America as their enemy. And this is very interesting because this was the same thing which was used back in 1979 when the Shah was ousted from the leadership, with most of the logic was again that West is the enemy, United States is bad, CIA is spying on the country, and there's a lot of things. The same thing is happening now, but this is completely opposite. And we have also seen some prominent figures, who is the crown prince of Iran in exile, Reza Pahlavi, who is the son of the last Shah who was ousted back in 1979. What my opinion is that if this situation is not dealt in the right way, I don't care about the right way. It can be that the regime continues, or it can be that the regime is ousted by some intervention from foreign powers, from United States, NATO, Europe. But right now the issue is that regime has been strong for so many decades that there's no real opposition. So you don't have anyone concrete to replace the regime. And if the same thing happens, what happened in Iran, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Libya, in Syria, that is going to be an issue. Reza Pahlavi is trying to prove himself as one of the most strong candidates. He's been calling out people to come together, to come out at 8 p.m. to chanting, protest, and make a serious point. And people are listening. But I seriously don't know. Or I would suspect how much does he actually have? How much power does he actually have? He has millions of views. He has more views than the actual population of Iran. But does that really matter if he is not in the loop, or he's been just being used by some people, or he's just trying to gain some publicity out of this? He's sitting in the United States right now. He's regularly calling out people to do this, to do that. But my whole point is that, is he the right person to replace it? Maybe a constitutional monarchy, maybe some kind of transitional power, something like that. Because during the last year, during the Gen Z protest in Nepal, the students were asked by the military to give a leader, and they give the leader. If you don't have a leader, when the leadership is toppled, even though you get democracy, you need a concrete leader. So if regime tries to make some concessions, we might see something coming, something like a balance between the liberal and some extremist, something like that, some left and right balance. And if the regime is toppled, we would expect some kind of leader. It might be Western supported, it might be Saudi Arabia supported, or Israel supported, or maybe it is maybe that person will come after a real election. But right now, what we are seeing is that a lot of people are dying, and something like that shouldn't happen. But make sure that you understand that even though the scale of protest is smaller than Masa Amini, but this is a bigger protest in terms of the whole effect. That was a protest driven by emotion. This is a protest driven by actual situation. Now emotions are stronger. I totally agree. But this protest started with a serious economic situation. Riyal has fallen at its all-time historic lows in last month. There's more than 50% inflation in the whole country. Government is offering 7 USD to every citizen per month for their expenses. I mean, you can understand by these things that there's something serious happening in that region. And someone needs to understand that, someone needs to actually do something about it. So what I would expect is there's lot at stake. Lot of countries are involved. Even the Middle Eastern countries, the Asian countries, the Southeast Asian countries, maybe something in North America and Europe are also involved. And it would be very interesting to see what is going to happen. I hope this whole thing is done peacefully. No more people die, and it is going to be very interesting to see what is going to happen in the future. And I would come back with more update. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is Nila Pandey signing off.